This is the S&P 500 SPDR ETF SPY one-day reading for January 6, 2025. It's currently December 22nd, 2025, 9:53 p.m. Eastern Time. SPY at the time of this reading, $591.15 USD. The shuffle video for the January 6th reading was created February 5th, 2024, 8:37 p.m. Eastern Time. So the overall theme of behavior, this is a very tricky read, guys, because we've got this prudence card in the theme position. It's also nullified, but nullification, very, very difficult to read with a card like prudence. Prudence is probably the most difficult card in the deck to read, if you ask me. Overall, the behavior around the high is high. We have bearish price swings and or a sharp drop out of the high. Behavior around the low is low for the day. We have erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level. In the midst of that erratic behavior, we should revisit a crest that was recently a past opportunity. And I'm advised to trade around a decline to and through support to meet another support. And then we rotate sideways along that second support. So in the pre-market, we have a period of volatility. We likely open significantly lower. And there's a period of volatility that ends with a fast sudden move higher in the pre-market. Probably a lowest low for the day thus far at the open. And a lot of price change in that first half hour. Looks like probably to the downside. Erratic out around the open, but then to the downside overall into a trough around the cusp of like around 10 o'clock. Where we then have like sideways fluidity, equal amounts of bulls and bears. We create a high between roughly 10 and 11. It's a brief peak that's easily missed, followed by a significant decline to the downside there. The peak and the decline most likely taking place between 10 and 11. This actually looks like it might be like serious bearish price swings here. Very likely we swing back to close to a peak between 12 and 1. That rally's halted after the sharp drop rallied back into a peak. That rally's halted by a decline through key support. Into sideways rotation between roughly 1 and 2. So it looks like we at least established support temporarily there between 1 and 2. And then there's this move higher through key resistance. We stay above it briefly, creating a peak. We break back down through it shortly thereafter with a full retracement. Back into a trough, not as low as the lows from earlier in the day, most likely. But then we get into a pretty significant decline in the last hour of trading. All right, so what I would expect is if you have a short open from the prior day, you'd likely be able to close it here at the open. If we like have some sort of like big move to the upside out of a low in the first half hour rather than it being to the downside, I would say that's opportunity to open up a short. You'd close the short. That one's tricky. I would probably wait and just see what we have to say on the Discord come the 6th, because that second trade is tricky. But this is probably a good cash out opportunity here first thing in the morning. Likely we have another cash out opportunity in like a couple of days if you miss that one. But this is probably the best one throughout like the entire day of the 6th. And with that said, that's SPY for January 6, 2025. Let me know what you think by hitting that like button. As always, make sure to follow that rule of karma. Blessings to all my angel investors. I'll see you guys on the next one.